Howdy ho, Stampers, Deb Valder, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here, and I am so excited to show you this little project. I did it at my Diva Day today, so that's why I couldn't show it to you until now, but I made these a while ago, and they are just so much fun. It's actually a box made out of the envelope template, and it holds a little pie. I made a little pie to put in there, and then I made a cookie and put that inside this one. So I'm going to show you how to make different sized boxes. I know right now in our holiday mini catalog we're selling these boxes, but they're going to be gone shortly, and I love to make boxes for different occasions, so I've been working on a lot of different sizes for a lot of different things. So I kind of kept this one in mind and decided to make this one right here. So inside here is a cookie, and I'm going to show you how to decorate that in just a moment. Inside here is an adorable little pie that I made. Like I said, it was for my Diva Day, so all the, oops, I just put my finger in the pie. Anyway, there's my pie with a finger hole in there, and that's just funny. Anyway, I'm going to show you how to make the box to put it in. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to measure the item that you're going to need to put inside your box. So in this case, it was the pie tin, and this pie tin measured just a little bit under 3.5. So with our envelope punch board, and I'm going to leave this here so I can refer to it. With our envelope punch board, I looked and I found over here where it said 3.5. So 3.5 by 3.5 is telling you, let me just show you here, 3.5 by 3.5 is telling you that you need a 6 by 6 sheet of paper, and you are going to score it at the 3-inch mark. Now when we're doing boxes, okay, you still want to know this measurement of the item that you're going to do. So for the cookie, it was 3 by 3. My cookie was just a little bit under 3 inches, so I decided I would do this one 3 by 3. My pie, with the finger hole in it, is just about 3.5. So I decided to go with the 3.5-inch mark. So these two measurements right here, the 3.5 by 3.5 and the 3-inch mark, we're going to keep those in your mind, okay? The 6 by 6, because we need depth here, okay, I'm going to add 2 inches because my pie is pretty big, okay? So I'm going to keep these. I'm going to increase that by 2 inches, so that'll be 8 by 8, and we're going to score the first time at 3 inches. Now just follow me. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to cut our paper. Instead of cutting it 6 by 6, remember I'm going to add 2 inches because I need the depth right here. We're not making an envelope, we're making a box. So 6 by 6 is now going to be 8 by 8. So I have an 8 by 8 piece of cardstock, and I'm going to take and I'm going to follow the measurements right here where it says that I need to score at 3 inches, okay? So I'm going to take my envelope punch board, and I'm going to put the cardstock over at the 3 inches, and I'm going to punch, and I'm going to score. And I always start from the bottom just because I can see where it is. Now, I have to add a second score mark because I'm going to make this a box. And if I was doing an envelope, I would just do it the regular way. I would score here, I would punch, and I would turn. I would line this up, score, punch, turn. But because I'm doing a box, I need a second score mark. And I'm adding 2 inches to that, like I said, because I need the depth for the box. So I'm going to add 2 inches to it, so I'm going to go over to the number 5 right here. Okay, can you see that? I'm going to come over to the number 5. I'm going to punch again, and I'm going to score, okay? Now, I'm not going to use this at all. I just did it for the first one, and what I'm going to use now are the 2 score lines for the markings. I'm going to turn it. I'm going to line up that first score mark right here with this little pointer. I'm going to punch, and I'm going to score, okay? Make sure it's on that little line. I start down here, and I score it. I'm going to move it over to this next punch line, or this next score line. I'm going to take it, I'm going to punch, and I'm going to score. Now you'll notice that I'm turning it just 90 degrees counterclockwise every single time. Don't flip it over, don't turn it 180 degrees, just turn it around 90 degrees every single time. I'm lining up that score mark, I'm punching it, and I am scoring it. Move it over to this line. Remember, we're not using this now, only the first time, only the first set of score marks. And then I'm going to score, and I'm going to turn it. I'm going to line up that little score mark. I'm going to punch it, I'm going to score it, and then I'm going to move it over, and I'm going to punch it, and I'm going to score it. Now you're done with your envelope punch board, and you see this? This is the square that we needed. It's the 3.5 by 3.5 inch square right in the middle. Each side has 2 punches. If you forgot to punch, just go back and punch, and then we've got all of these score lines, okay? So the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to take and you're going to need to cut the hole in the middle of it. And the way you're going to do that, okay, first thing that we need to do is to get our piece that is the decorative piece, which is this piece right here. We need to do that before we cut the circle in here. So what I did was I took a piece of designer series paper and I just cut one strip down that's 3.5 all the way down. So this is a 3.5 inch by 12 inch strip. Then you're going to take this and you're going to turn it and you're going to cut a 3.5 inch piece. So this piece right here is 3.5 by 3.5. Before you put your cutter away, you're going to take and you're going to cut 4 that are 3.5, so you can still use this piece of paper, and you're going to cut 4 pieces that are 1 1/4 inches, and I'll show you those in just a minute, okay? So you're going to use this, you're going to cut, you might as well do them all at the same time. You're going to cut a 3.5 by 3.5, then you're going to do a 3.5 by 1 1/4 4 times, okay? Set those aside. Now what you're going to do is before you cut this and put this through your Big Shot, what you need to do is you need to adhere this just temporarily. So we don't want a lot of glue on it. This is just going to be a temporary thing. And I like to call it dirty. I like to just get this a little dirty so that it doesn't stick that well. I know that sounds kind of funny, but we need to take this off afterwards. And our snail is such good adhesive that it will stick. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm just temporarily gluing this to the center, okay? And you'll see that it is the center. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to run it through my Big Shot. But this is so big, okay, that it's not going to fit through the Big Shot. Now, when I did this one, it was smaller. It was 4 by 4 instead of 8 by 8. So this one fit through no problem, okay? Or this one was 6 by 6. Okay, this one's 8 by 8, so it's not going to fit through your Big Shot. So what you have to do is you have to flip this over, and then you have to flip this over, and now you can run it through your Big Shot. And when you do, this is what you come up with. Okay, so you're going to have some circle marks here, but don't worry because we're going to be covering those up. Those are just indentations from your Big Shot, and that's just inevitable because we had to flip it over. Okay, so I took this back off. You see, that's how it was easy to take off. That was what was here, okay? And this is the way it'll come out of the Big Shot. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to put a window sheet in here. See, there's a window sheet in here so that nobody can touch your pie, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to lift this off, you're going to turn it over, and this is, can you see it? This is our window sheet, alrighty? This is our window sheet, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some adhesive in the corners of this, and this I made just, it's about a 1/16 or a 1/4 of an inch, not even a 1/4 of an inch difference, so it's a little less than 3.5, okay? And I just adhere that to the back of my designer series paper. Now what I need to do is to add my snail adhesive all the way around, and you want to get quite a bit on here, okay? Make sure it's glued down pretty good. And I'm going to add that back to my circle. Now, if by chance this doesn't line up so it's even all the way around, that means that you don't have it the right way. What I do like to do is to take a pencil before I cut this, and I just kind of mark it just like this so that I know this is the exact way that I cut it out. So what I would do is I would take, let me show you, I would take this one, I would take a pencil like this and just put a mark right here because we can erase that, and then cut it out with your circle. This is our circles collection, okay? So I would take and I would cut it out with this one. You can take any size circle that you want depending on how big you want your window sheet to be, okay? But now when I take this off, I'm going to know that this is the right way to do it. If you don't and you accidentally turn it this way, your circle is not going to line up because very rarely do we have an exact measurement from all sides. So I hope that makes a little bit of sense to you. Okay, so now we have this glued down. So now everything here is all glued down. All right, I want you to take your scissors and I want you to cut, you have to make 4 cuts, okay? So we're going to cut here, we're going to cut here, we're going to turn it 180 degrees, and we're going to cut here and here. So you have this side and this side that are cut, all right? And the sides that have the indentations are over here. Okay, so this is what it looks like so far. The next thing that we need to do is we need to put our box together, okay, because it's almost done. So we're going to take this, and where I put my adhesive, okay, is we want these pieces to be on the side, those ones with the circles, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and put my adhesive right here on the bottom. So I'll just take it and run it this way and this way, and this is where your silicone mat comes in very handy, okay? You're going to take this and you're just going to fold it up like this, and you want to make sure your box is square, okay? So what I like to do is to actually put the top inside, so when you're putting it together, there we go, just like that. And then when you're putting it together, you can just kind of line the whole box up and make sure it's all done square, alrighty? So now we have our box that looks like this. All right, so it now looks like this, okay? So here's the top of our box. It's all put together. If you feel more comfortable using sticky strip, you're more than welcome to, but snail does hold very, very well. You see where we have the little flaps that are on the top? They're also on the bottom, okay? And when we close it, we just close it like this, all righty? All right, so now it's time to decorate. Remember I told you we cut this piece right here. After cutting the 3.5-inch piece off, we cut 4 sets of 3 1/4 by 1 1/4 inch strips, and that's these right here, okay? So now what you're going to do is you're going to take and you're going to add your snail to the bottom of them, and you're just going to put them all along the side. Now this is for my pie box, not for my cookie box. My cookie box is smaller, so my dimensions are smaller, and I will put those on my blog at www.stampladee, L-A-D-E-E, okay, S-T-A-M-P-L-A-D-E-E. I'm going to put those on my blog so that you guys can have the dimensions for both of them, alrighty? So then here is this piece, so you're going to do this all the way around, okay? My box is falling apart here. Let's put a little bit more glue, right? Oh, actually, let's take that apart and just glue that together. There we go. That's better. Okay, and then I have one more on this side. Okay, so now we've got the sides all decorated. Okay, now what we need to do is to add our embellishments right here. Okay, right here and right here. Okay, so now what we're going to do, I like to open it from this side, all right, and that makes a difference, okay, if you're a lefty, you'd want to open it from this side, but right now, this one's going to open this way, so I can slide my pie in and out on the right-hand side, okay, and then what I did was, I took our stamp set that's called Joyful Christmas, and I took this poinsettia right here, and I just focused on this little piece right here in the middle. So what I did was I took my Versamark and I stamped it onto my cardstock, or onto my vellum cardstock, 2 times with Versamark, and then I put silver embossing powder on it and I heated it. Then what I did was I turned it over and I colored the back of it with Coastal Cabana, and I cut them out. So I wanted 2 of them so that it gave it a little bit of dimension. So I'll just finish cutting this one out right here. And then we're just going to take off the dimensionals, okay? And we're just going to kind of lay them just sideways. And then what I like to do is I like to take and curl them up with my bone folder. And you can do that if you're very, very careful, okay? Because if you do it too hard, you're going to take off the embossing powder. So you just want to do that very careful. Okay, just lift them up and curl and curl. And this just gives it more of a dimensional look. Okay, and then what I did was I added rhinestones, but you could also add our little snowflake embellishment that we have in the mini catalog. Okay, so that finishes this. After you put the rhinestones on, you're going to make a silver bow with our new silver ribbon. Okay, so I'm just going to take this and I'm going to take my mini glue dots and I'm going to adhere that to it. Okay, so whoops, I thought I had a mini glue dot in my hand. Okay, so here we go. We're just going to add that to the bow that we made and add that to our box, and that is our box. And like I said, I also have the little cookie, so if we wanted to put this onto the cookie, we could do that too. Let's just take that off there, and we could add this to the cookie instead of to the... Okay, and then I'm just going to trim these little guys off with my fabric scissors. Okay, and there's our cookie. So here we have our pie that has a finger mark in it. Okay, throw that in there like that. We're just going to take this and close it up like that. Whoop. There we go. There we go. Oops, forgot to put my little doily in there, but it should have a little doily in there. My little cookie box has a doily in there. Oops, here we go. I'll show you what I did with the cookie one, because that one was a little bit smaller and our doilies are big. I took and I used my circle collection of framelits and I just cut that out. It fits my cookie perfectly, and then I will slide it in here. I was so excited to show you this project. I couldn't stand it. I was just so excited. So I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I know the girls today did that came to Diva Day. They were just as excited as I was. But anyway, this is my project. I hope you enjoyed it, and please stop back often, okay? Have a great day.